And on that note, let's move on to another Japanese company. Nintendo, the other one everyone was waiting for. Oh boy, I have some unpopular opinions here. Okay, let's start off with their first game. I was right. They opened up with Star Fox. They call it Star Fox Zero, and they won't admit it. It's a retcon. They've just retconned Star Fox. They retcon a lot of their franchises when you think about it. Anyway, so it's the same. It's the original four: Fox, Falco, Slippy, and Toad. They're using the voice actors from Star Fox 64, and honestly, I miss the Assault voice actors. I like them the most. But on that, speaking of that, it doesn't look like we'll see Crystal. This looks like to take place after Star Fox 64. And they brought back, Derek was right, the mechanic of that turning your R-Wing into the Walker thing, like from the canceled Star Fox 2, came after all. So congratulations, Derek, you got your wish. But there's one thing I always say: Nintendo always shoots itself in the foot with one thing. They have something going so good for them, but they always mess it up with one thing, and I already know what it is. There's still no online multiplayer with this game. There is a demand for this, but Nintendo won't do it. They will not show off they will not show multiplayer, online multiplayer. Not you. They still think Nintendo still thinks that people want to go visit each other's houses and play at their place. And this is where one of my biggest unpopular opinions come in. As much as you all love Iwata, I think it's time for him to go, and really the people in charge of all this shit. Because a lot of old people, they need to retire and go. We need to get younger people with a fresher mind and more aware of how the world is. Not just saying Satoru Iwata doesn't know shit about multiplayer, but honestly, I think it's because they're stuck with their old mentality that's why they're still doing this, making some stupid decisions. And I think not giving Star Fox Zero online multiplayer is what's going to kill it. Because there's a competition. If this was a shooter, then I could understand, but you still have Splatoon, and that's your shooter. But are there any big online multiplayer games with dogfights? No. So why not? But anyway, the gameplay looked good. It looks beautiful, but to me, I have one worry. I'm pretty sure the game's going to be really short, but that's a Star Fox game for you. And it looks like Star Fox 64 too. And if that's the case, I just don't like that. I mean, they're really trying to milk the Star Fox 64 bandwagon, which I like Star Fox 64, but you know what? You don't want to stick to that too much. Basically, Nintendo knows what people like, and they're gonna milk the fuck out of what those people like. Okay, so they spent like the first, let's say 10 minutes on Star Fox Zero. Here's where it starts to bother me. They already said, we knew before this would start. 51 minutes. Miyamoto spent about, let's say, 5 minutes talking about this, talking about the origins of Star Fox and the current name. Which, that's cool and all, but isn't that better for a treehouse? I would think that's better for a treehouse. Okay, let's add that down. 5 minutes spent on talking. Because, this is their big time to shine. They could have taken 2 hours, but they chose 51 minutes. So, unlike the other companies, which have 2 hours, just about 2 hours, they're having less than half of that time. So to be fair, the other companies do it, but they have much more time to show games. So with this limited time frame, you think, let's show games, have maybe a little bit of talking, or talk while the gameplay is being shown. So okay, so now we know 5 minutes so far. Now then they showed off Skylanders Superchargers. It's going to be the sequel, and it shows the main mechanic of this one is going to be vehicles. They showed off Amiibo that can also be Skylander figures. A Bowser one, it looks really good, by the way, and Supercharged DK. And that was just mostly Reggie and some guy from I think it's Activision, whatever. The guy's in charge of Skylanders, talking about these Amiibo I want to say 5 more minutes, honestly. this is where it's starting to bother me, because this is where some people got disinterested already. They just focus so much on their on talking, and I don't blame some people for being bothered. Okay, let's see. Yeah, they spent about 3 minutes talking, I want to say. That's about 8 minutes. This is where I'm starting to sound really nitpicky, but I'm trying to make a point here. The next game they talked about, Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. It's Four Sword Adventures minus Purple Link. Sorry, Purple Link, you got screwed out of this. It looks interesting. It's multiplayer emphasized, which that's good. I think it's okay. Some people don't like it because they want Zelda Wii U to be shown off, and I still do. But you know what? This is okay. And they showed off another one that we've been waiting for. Also, they did talk a lot about that. They talked about that for, like, I want to say 3 more minutes, so... I mean, that was okay because they were showing gameplay while they're talking, so I didn't mind that too much. Then they moved off to another Hyrule Warriors Legends for the 3DS. They haven't said it yet, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be new 3DS exclusive. Because look at all what's going on the top screen. There's no way the 3DS can handle that. I'm not trying to say the new 3DS is super powerful, but I think it needs that little boost just to meet these standards, because if that game has a lot of lag, oh, is it going to bomb. You're paying $40 for just 2 new characters. Thought Nintendo did DLC right sometimes. Then they moved on to a game that people hate. They are pissed. The salt for this game is unreal. It's Metroid Prime Federation Force. This has look at the video, the trailer, trailer separated alone on YouTube. There are so many dislikes. Yesterday I was at my brother's and I showed him that. It was like 6,000 likes, 60,000 dislikes. They were outnumbered by 10. I think. I want to say around there, but if not, it was really outnumbered. That like bar was getting overwhelmed. Oh man, the hatred, because people were like, I've been waiting for a Metroid Prime game since Corruption. Other M's sucked. Oh my god, guys, calm the fuck down. You're gonna be fine with just your Zero Suit Samus amiibo. You'll be fine. And then they had to say later after this that if we wanted to make another Metroid Prime game, it would take at least 3 years, maybe minimum. And by that time, oh, and I haven't said this, so let me get this out of the way. Towards the beginning, Reggie announced that we'll hear about the NX in E3 2016. And I'm pretty sure they're going to actually have a conference for that, no digital event, not this time. So, this is where I'm a little worried. I want a Wii U, but I don't think I'm going to get one. I may as well get an NX Day 1, because if it's going to get announced now, it's probably going to be coming out on 2018. Do I want a Wii U when it's about to get outdated? No. Let's just get a new one. So I'm skipping this generation of consoles. That's unfortunate, but that's Nintendo's choice, and I have to respond to it accordingly. So anyway, they said if they're making a Metroid Prime game, it's going to go to the Wii U. So I guess this is to make people hold out. It kind of reminds you of a Metroid version of what's that game called? Monster Hunter. It looks, because you're fighting giant, like Metroid-like enemies that require a team to take them down. And I don't know. People are really upset over that. Then let's just move on, because honestly, I think people need to just calm down about this game. But I've become a hypocrite in a few minutes, but I'm not getting mad to the point where I want this game out of existence entirely, like Metroid Prime Federation Force, because the salt for that one is much worse than mine for one of these other games that we're about to talk about. But for now, Fire Emblem Fates. It's not going to be Fire Emblem If anymore. Fire Emblem Fates. Pretty sure it's going to be called Fire Emblem Fates of Hoshido and Fates of Nohr. Anyway, it was just showing an English dub. Matt Mercer was once Chrom, and now he's going to be Ryoma. That's what it looks like. He's going to be 2 lords in 2 games in a row. How did Nintendo let that happen? That's just, wow. You guys just don't care. Honestly, this is going to sound fucked up. It's like, I wouldn't want Matt Mercer and Laura Bailey to voice like main Fire Emblem characters. a game later. I mean, hold them out for it for a game or two, and then bring them back. But not not right now. Calm down. But it was just an English dub trailer, nothing new that we didn't know. But it was nice that I could hear what the voices sound like. I do like Marx's voice, or excuse me, he's now called Xander. Let's clear some things up. Marx is now Xander. Kamui, the main character, the my unit for this game, is going to be called Corrin, which is stupid, but it's because I think of Tales of Symphonia. If you know Corrin from Tales, I think it's Tales of Symphonia. Yeah, Corrin, and I say Corrin, but it's Corrin, because, you know, American. I don't know, that sounds weird right there. But yeah, I think of Corrin from Tales of Symphonia, and if you know anything about Tales of Symphonia, you know why I'm bothered by that name. Ah, poor Corrin. Anyway, I'm okay with that. I'm glad to see another bit of trailer, but oh god, it looks like you can kill... Aqua's called Azura, by the way. It looks like there might be multiple endings, even within one route. So, kill Azura? So I can kill not Lucina? This interests me. That sounds fucked up. I have to be giving her a shot. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like Azura, maybe, as long as she doesn't have Lucina's personality, because I don't like Lucina. Anyway, let's move on. Then they showed that horrible excuse of a crossover, Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, which is now called Gene. I don't know how you say this. Gene, Ibun Roku / or hashtag FE. Or Sharp FE, as the Japanese will call it. They're actually going by the term, like, musical, because music is a big gimmick in this game, and Chrom's in it too! These things are called mirages, but they're also called performas. I get that's kind of a pun for performers, like a slang term of performer, but that just screams Persona. This is basically Persona Cross Fire Emblem, but Nintendo won't admit it, or not just Nintendo nor Atlus will admit it. I don't like where this game's going. I don't like the fan service and the jiggle physics and the shit, because if I wanted to see if I wanted to see something that's very anime and falls under very bad anime fan service tropes, I'll go watch a harem genre anime. But they're talking about, like, oh, this game have great story, emphasis on music, and I think music does make a game, and this music will probably make it that game. This game's gonna sell well in Japan, and I know it, but there is a split between here, and people are trying to justify that this game is great, and that everybody who disagrees are assholes. Which, I'm not telling you to get this game. If you want this game, go ahead. Just don't tell me to get this game. If I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna buy it used. I'd rather give GameStop the money than Atlus or Nintendo. That's how much I don't like this game. I'm not gonna buy it. I saw gameplay of it. It still doesn't appeal to me, because how come if one person uses a spell, everyone else uses it, their SP or MP, whatever they're calling it, I think it's EP, doesn't go down. It's basically every magic attack becomes a kind of all-out attack. It's kind of dumb. I mean, Gangrel, wow, now I know why his head was cut off. It's kind of his main attack. Yeah, because there's going to be bosses based off of Fire Emblem villains. But regardless, I don't like where it's going. I do not like it one bit. And you know how I mentioned Chrom? Because I mean, people are speculating the girl that looks a bit like Sayaka Mizono, but with the big tits. She has Kaida. People speculate that was Kaida as her performa, and they're right. So, and it's implying so far that this girl and the main dude, the one who dresses up like Marth, are gonna get together. There's even a thing where it looks like they're gonna hold hands, but one of them got embarrassed. But okay, if that's the case, why doesn't he have Marth as his performa and not and instead of Chrom? Because Chrom can either get with Sumia, Sully, Maribel, Olivia, or the female avatar. Kaida is from the first Fire Emblem game, I think. One of those. There's 2 Fire Emblem games with Marths in it. 3 if you count a remake. But I don't get that. Chrom x Kaida, guys. It's gonna be a ship. Look forward to it. It bothers me because it makes no sense to me. I don't know how the hell they come up with this. It's like, oh, let's just appease the otaku fan base. The Japanese otaku fan base. And it's gonna sell. This thing's gonna be popular in Japan, but I don't think it's gonna be as popular in America. Plus, they made sure their voice actors are capable of singing, and Japanese voice actors, or seiyus as other people like to call them, most of them can sing, and they're good singers. Like, fun fact, the Japanese cast for Persona 4, they can all sing. There was a YouTube video, I don't know if it's still up there, somewhere out there, where they play a sample or two of each main voice actor from Persona singing a song. Like Yukiko's or Margaret's, I think even Margaret, the Persona 4 Pro Tag, and all that. I mean, the only voice actor in America that I know can sing is Johnny Young Bosch because he's in a band. But yeah, okay, so I'm not getting this game. If you want it, let's get this very clear. If you like this game and you want it, but you disagree with what I feel, fine. Just don't go off at telling me I'm this terrible, evil person because I don't like it. Because sometimes I felt like I was at risk for losing a new friend because I don't like this game. He likes it, I don't. He can get it, he can go get it. That's okay. If you want the game, go ahead. But I don't like this game, and don't worry, I'm not gonna, hit Nintendo's rating hard. Cause oh, Nintendo, F, because you showed this game off. No, they showed good games, but I'm telling you on as why I think you're gonna be surprised with the rating I give Nintendo. Let's just leave it at that. So let's move on from this. Disclaimer over. You want the game, go ahead, but I'm not getting it. Don't force me to, or don't tell me to. And we left it at that note. Xenoblade Chronicles X. They moved on to a good game after that weeb shit. Oh god, and it looks good. It looks good. It's an RPG with mechs. It looks so fun. I want it, actually. I've never played Xenoblade Chronicles. I was gonna get the one on 3DS, but they said, oh, it's a new 3DS exclusive. It's like, well, fuck you. I'm not getting it then. But, oh man, it looks good. But, I mean, that's all I can say. I don't know shit about Xenoblade Chronicles. I've barely heard of it because of coming out on Wii many years ago. And then then they showed off some other games. Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. I think it's its own game entirely. And it looks nice. I can see why people are excited over it. And, what else? That's all I can really say. I don't know much about this because I've been out of touch with Animal Crossing. But people like it, and good for them. It looks like all you do is make homes for people. It's like your job. So it's like but is this gonna be that's what I'm wondering. Is it its own separate game or is it DLC? Because in your own one, it would be like basically you have to manage 2 towns now. Because first you got to be mayor and watch over your own town. I don't know. I can't think. I'm not gonna come up with a town name. Like Town A. But then Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. Maybe it'll do like, oh, you have town data here, or if it's DLC, it'll just be downloaded on, and you can go to Tom Nook and say, hey, I'm gonna work as a home designer. But if it's its own separate game, what if it comes with its own town? So it's like you have to manage Town A and Town B. That's gonna get fucking complicated, and we're not even to the Wii U version yet. But now then, here's where things start to get a little weird, because now we have Amiibo Festival, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, and you need Animal Crossing Amiibo to watch it. Not to watch it, excuse me, to play it. Now, it doesn't look. The reason why I'm worried is because at one point in the trailer, you see it saying sold separately. That's implying you can buy this game, and I'm hearing it's a $60 game for what is basically Animal Crossing. It's Animal Crossing Mario Party, basically. We don't know if there's mini games in it or too many mini games like it are crazy like Mario Party, but the fact is you need Amiibo to play. But hunting these motherfuckers are insane as is. I had to get James and Nicola to hook me up with the Robin Amiibo because I couldn't find one here. What makes you think we're gonna find all the Animal Crossing Amiibo? Nintendo's like, oh, we're gonna get our act together this time. I don't believe you. I got 3 other Amiibo because they were Wave 1 and Wave 2, which were long now past irrelevant. I got Pikachu, Luigi, and Toon Link. Those are popular, and of course Pikachu's very popular, so it would at that time it was hard not to find a Pikachu. But regardless, the fact of the matter is, oh, and James and Nicola are from the UK. So I got an imported amiibo, and because they were nice. Thank you, by the way. I can't say it enough, but anyway, this is going to bomb. Some people don't like it because it doesn't imply there's an amiibo with it. Wouldn't it be nice if it came with like a random amiibo of your choice, or if there was a way to say, okay, you get this coupon, and then you use it to get one amiibo, assuming you find one for free. I don't know. They have to give you one amiibo to start off with. Or two. You need two to play with other people, so... This is really weird. I don't like that. It's a bad idea. Because amiibo are great. But Nintendo's supply and demand, they're putting just enough supply that they know how many people want these things. But they don't put out the extra amount. Like, it's complicated politics. And honestly, I wanted to talk about the problem with amiibo. So, just to mention it a little bit... The problem is they're releasing the amount they know they want to sell, that they need to sell to make a profit, but they're not putting out the extra amount that might or might not get sold. They underestimate their own fan base, and that's just disrespectful. Because, and the funny thing was, a week or so ago, I think it was the Skylanders or Disney Infinity guy, one of them, I think it was Disney Infinity, they say it's disrespectful to fans to make people have to hunt for these things. And that guy was absolutely right. Sure, people always hate, and I mean, I don't care about Skylanders or Disney Infinity, but you know what? They at least always have them in stock. When do you hear it's an issue to find? Now, you could say, oh, only kids get it, but there are a lot of kids. It's not like there's 10 kids out there in the world compared to you all that are our age. You underestimate them too, but they still keep it in stock. That's the thing. They know their fan base, and they know how much they need to put out there. That's good. Nintendo knows, but they're not putting in enough. And if you know you're not going to put enough, maybe put a little delay so you can say, okay, we're delaying it because we need to make a few more because we think that's how much it's going to need to meet the demand. And I would take that. I would accept that, knowing I'm going to get mine most likely. Not guaranteed, because nothing is a guarantee. But very likely chance of getting that thing, I will take that. But enough of that. That's one game that I'm worried about is gonna bomb, and it's gonna piss off that people more, because hunting these amiibo are gonna be a pain. And wait till Wave 5. It's gonna be the most annoying yet. Next up, Yoshi's Woolly World. There's a woman talking about these things for way too long. She talked for 5 minutes. I mean, it took halfway through the video to talk about that, to move on, but it bothers me. So let's say like there's like 13 minutes worth of talking so far total, I want to say. But even then, it's so much wasted time talking, because the game's already out in Japan, I believe. It's coming out in the UK at the end of the month. But did we really need to show off Woolly World? I mean, I like it. We already knew about the whole tap any amiibo, your Yoshi will get that amiibo's design. Okay. They showed off Yokai Watch, which that's popular. Apparently it's supposedly the next Pokemon. I don't know that for a fact. Good for them. Then they showed off a good RPG crossover. A real RPG crossover. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. My only complaint, where the fuck is Paper Luigi? I mean, Nintendo says, sure, you got regular Luigi, but what about Paper Luigi? He's always the one that wants to go on adventures. So why not now? Maybe they're not showing him off yet, but I honestly doubt it, because they showed off look like way too much gameplay. And it looks like that's going to stick with Paper Mario. Oh well. I have to accept it. I'm still getting this game. Paper Jam looks fun. And I love Paper Mario. It looks like it's going to take pieces. It takes pieces from both Thousand Year Door and, of course, the Mario and Luigi RPGs. And that looks great. I love it. They showed Mario Tennis. I predicted a sports game. I was hoping for golf, but you know what? I got it right, kind of. Ultra Smash. Or Mega Mushrooms are a thing. They're going to make tennis more interesting. Giant Peach destroying everybody. But everybody can become giant. But wow, it looks interesting at least. But I'd rather get a golf game. But you know what? Mario Tennis on a console is where it belongs, honestly. Hopefully it does well. Then, this is where it bothers me again. They ended it on Mario Maker. They spent about most of their time. They spent like their last 10 minutes. They spent their last 10 minutes talking about, and I thought this was great to hear, but I didn't want to hear it here because you had 51 minutes of precious time to show why we should be supporting the Wii U and the 3DS. And here's the sad thing. Sure, this is going to be Wii U, but how many games have I mentioned were Wii U games? Let's see. Star Fox 64, Skylanders, Yoshi's Woolly World, Amiibo Festival, which I don't know if I should even count that. That horrible excuse of a crossover, Xenoblade Chronicles X, and Mario Maker. How many were... that's 7 games. How many were 3DS games? Triforce Heroes, Hyrule Warriors Legends, Metroid Prime Federation Force, Happy Home Designer, Yokai Watch, I think it's a 3DS exclusive, Paper Jam. That's about 6. So 7 to 6, but I felt there was more time on the 3DS games because a lot of these Wii U games were I get they're trying to save some games for later, but honestly, there are way too many 3DS games to talk about because some were minor. Yokai Watch is cool, but there were other games they could have talked about, like Bravely Second. That would have been something good to talk about. I mean, I know it just got announced to come here, but wouldn't it have been better to talk about that than, I don't know, Yokai Watch? Or Metroid Prime Federation Force? What if that got replaced with Bravely Second? There'd be a lot less dislikes on the video. But anyway, back to Mario Maker. It looks good. It looks fun. But you know what? At the World Championships, we saw a custom-made level, or custom-made levels for each type of Mario game that's possible, like Mario Bros. 1, Mario Bros. 3, Mario World, and New Super Mario Bros. U. Why don't we just get that? Like, why don't we just have that? We could have showed your last 10 minutes on something else. Maybe maybe Zelda Wii U. But they said, oh, we only want to show what's coming out at the end of this, during this year and early 2016. I get it, but you know what? You could have just shown Link riding on fucking Epona for 10 minutes again, and people would have been okay with that. This is what bothers me. They ended on such a weak note. And it looked like, oh, they're just saving one more trailer for something that I don't know. But they didn't. And that bothers me. That really bothered me. They spent 23 minutes, so let's just say about half of their time talking and half of their time actual games. And people praised Nintendo because they show gameplay all the time. Yes, they did show gameplay, but I think they talked, I want to say, at least 10 minutes too much. If it was like 15 minutes, that would have been okay. Maybe I'm being too nitpicky, but regardless, they ended on such a weak note, and most of these games look good. Some are good, some are great, but others were just, was this really a good fit for your digital event? There were other things you could have talked about. With that said, I'm giving Nintendo a C+, because they ended so badly. They started okay with Star Fox 64, but the minute Skylanders showed up, that's when it was a red flag saying this is not going to be that great. And I was right, or most people believe they're right, because people were disappointed with the whole talk about, like, with 8 minutes talk about, like, maybe Skylanders, or 5 minutes I should say, Metroid Prime, which people were pissed off about. I don't care about that horrible excuse of a crossover, but some people did. Amiibo Festival looks like it's going to be bad. Yoshi's Woolly World, yeah, it's going to be a good game, but they talked a bit too much about it. And of course, Mario Maker, which people are already going to get. Why do you need to talk about it more? Are you trying to guarantee those? I think they're almost guarantees anyway, but... C+, which they're tied with Square, but I'll give Nintendo the edge because they showed more gameplay than Square did. Oh, God. So, final standings. Sony, high atop everybody else with a solid A. Microsoft at number 2 with the B. Ubisoft really neck and neck with them with the B as well. Nintendo with the C+, Square with the C+, and EA with a C. Honestly, though, the real winner were the gamers. There were so many good games that people wanted to see, and they showed them off. Even EA had some games people wanted to see. People love Unravel, and I love Star Wars Battlefront. And they mentioned Mass Effect with its official name for that's coming out next year. That's great. I think it's next year at least. So every company showed off big games people wanted to see. But honestly, I thought this was one of the best E3s. Despite saying that, and how much, and Nintendo was one of the weaker horses here, every company did good. Some did better than others, obviously. But honestly, it's whatever you think who won. Who do you think won E3? Though, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure everybody will, it's almost a universal agreement at this point that Sony won. And that's because I don't care about most of those games showed up, but Sony won E3. They're the clear winners, but we are the winners because all these good games are coming soon. Well, except for the Square games. We don't know when those are coming out, except for Just Cause, so that's it. So, yeah, and I better get the flame shield up because, oh god, the Nintendo fanboys are going to call me out, call me biased, and shit, but whatever. Anyway, sorry that the video dragged on too long. It's just that I had a lot of beef with Nintendo's event. I had a lot. But anyway, I apologize if I insulted some of the games you liked. Oh well, not everybody's gonna disagree. It's not like I'm telling you, don't get this game. There were very few games here that I say don't get it for. Really, were there any? Not really. This was a great E3. Despite how I ended this with a bad note with all of Nintendo, with all the shit I'm giving them, it was still a great E3. I don't know when we'll get a big one like this. Maybe not for 5 years? I don't know. Anyway, that's gonna be it. I will see you guys in other videos. See you later.